Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's been so long since I recorded a video and I'm just so excited to start recording again. So we have a new kitchen I'm going to introduce you to. This is my new home as of lately, and I'm really excited to start back up and get cooking again. So I really wanted to get this out to you guys because this is one of my favorite things that I've ever made. And it's my vegan lasagna, and I love it so much. It's something that I make for every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. It's like a specialty of mine, and everywhere I bring it to, it's honestly one of the most popular dishes at every single event, activity that I bring it to, family event, especially around the holidays. And everyone is just like so amazed. My whole family, they're like, how is this vegan? This is not vegan, and it's amazing. And I come from an Italian family, so you know that they are picky when it comes to lasagna. So they were super surprised, and I love sharing this recipe because this is one of the first recipes that I honestly put together. There is no like fake ingredients I'm not using. We're gonna be making our own ricotta out of cashews, which is so amazing. So we're not going to be buying a store-bought ricotta. We're gonna make our own. And yeah, I'm gonna show you the healthy pasta that I use. I'm gonna show you how I make my red sauce. And then yeah, we're gonna layer it all together and put it in the oven. So I'm excited to get started. Let me put my light on in here. So yeah, okay, let's get started with the ingredients. Okay, ready? Okay, so first we have our jovial pasta. Now, if you guys have watched any of my older videos, you know I love this pasta brand, and I do explain why in my video, but I will explain it again. And reason being because this is the most tasty by far that I've tried. But look at how it says 100% whole grain there. So everything in here is nutritious. Whereas if you were to get some white pasta, it's not whole grain, it doesn't really carry much nutrients in it, so it does feel really heavy on the stomach. This doesn't feel heavy on my stomach at all whatsoever, which is why I love it so much. And you know, you can't even feel guilty because you know that it just has the right ingredients. You're eating foods that are gonna go somewhere instead of just sit in your belly. So that's great. We have our trays. I have 2 cups of cashews soaking right now. And you do wanna soak some cashews as a prep. You don't need to soak it for too long. Honestly, you could probably get away with soaking it for like an hour, 2 hours, but I'd say soak it for 3 hours, and I'll tell you why later. We have some fresh basil, fresh garlic. I think, I don't know how many zucchinis I grabbed, but it does depend on the size of these zucchinis. So I think I grabbed 8 just in case. We have 2 cans of pastine, kitchen ready. We have some dried oregano, some dried basil as well, because I do like to throw that in there, and then some garlic powder as well. So these are, I believe, all of the ingredients. The only thing that we're missing is our blender, because that's what we are going to use to blend the cashews and make the ricotta. So honestly, we're doing really good with ingredients. It's really not too much. Of course, if you want to add more vegetables into the lasagna, sometimes I add mushrooms, go right ahead. But I think even eggplant, I think, would be really tasty in this. But I like to keep it, I like to keep it super classic and just do a nice thin layered zucchini lasagna. So this is the ingredients. Oh, and little trick. Don't get these trays anywhere else besides the dollar store, because I literally, as I was at the store searching for these ingredients to make this video for you guys, if like Wegmans, Whole Foods, this is like $5. You go to the dollar store and you get 2 of them for literally $1. So do not go anywhere else. I'm a big fan of the dollar store. Okay, here we go. So first things first, we're gonna start with the sauce, the red sauce. So I'm gonna start with chopping up 5 nice size garlic cloves. So I'm gonna chop that up right now. Now I'm going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to the bottom of my pan. You really don't need a lot. Like, honestly, it's really your discretion. I just like to do it enough so that it's gonna cover the bottom. So this is what we're looking like right now. I'm gonna turn this on to medium, and I'm gonna let my garlic get, you know, nice and brown, really get that flavor to just rise. All right, so I like to start with the sauce because the longer the sauce sits, especially with the garlic, the more flavorful it becomes. So I definitely like to start with the sauce for sure, every time. And the garlic is gonna heat up pretty fast, so definitely keep an eye on it because you don't want it to burn, you just want it to get a little browned. But see, that's what you want it to be looking like. Start to get a little bit brown. Now, I'm gonna add the pastine. I'm gonna be really careful not to get it on my shirt. So I just added those 2 cans of pastine. We'll let that heat up and get nice and warm. We are going to thinly slice our zucchini. Perfect. So we're gonna start with one. I'm gonna cut both sides. And now I do leave the skin on. And literally, it's like all you from here. Some people have a nice thin slicing machine. I do not, so that is why we are doing it by hand. And obviously, I'm trying to make them as thin as I can. And yeah, this is why I said I don't exactly know how many zucchinis you want to buy, because each zucchini is a little bit different in size. So it I just got about like a nice 5 slices out of one zucchini. So we're gonna put that on the side. And sometimes you can even save these pieces for scraps just to fill around the edges. So we're not gonna throw those away. All right, so I just did about 6 zucchinis. So this next step is important. So we just thinly sliced our zucchini, and now I have it laid out just like this. And a little tip that I want to share with you guys is we are not finished with the zucchini until we drain out the excess water. And this is going to be, this is going to be extremely helpful throughout your process. So that way there really is just no excess watery substance in your lasagna. So we're gonna put a little bit of pink salt on that, and then I'm gonna show you what we do. We're gonna damp it off. So it's just, the pink salt really just soaks off all the excess water. So now we're gonna sprinkle, and you really don't have to be bashful with the salt because we're gonna kind of wipe it off anyway. But we're gonna put the salt on this, and then you guys are gonna literally be amazed. It's gonna start, the zucchini is gonna look like soaking wet. That's how much excess water is gonna come out. Super cool. Okay, so I found a perfect spot for you guys to see how I make the ricotta, all right? So first things first, I had my cashews soaking for about 3 hours. And really what it does is it just allows the cashew to just blow up and become like this soft consistency, whereas before it was just hard, right? So that's what soaking the cashews really allows it to do, so that when we blend it, it's gonna be nice and creamy. So I'm gonna drain that right now. Okay, so typically I would say 2 cups is perfect, but I like to fill this to the top because honestly, I always end up wanting like a little bit more. So I'm just gonna fill this to the top, and if you don't use the whole thing, that's totally fine too, because you might not. Now, I didn't like show you guys this when I was showing my ingredients because honestly, you can get away with water. It will taste the same, but I think the almond milk just adds a little bit of something to it. So we are gonna put almond milk, and I am going to fill it exactly like to the amount the cashews end at. So probably about up to here. We are gonna add 2 teaspoons of pink salt, 2 teaspoons of oregano. Now you can use, next we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. You can use like the fresh garlic cloves. I just recommend making sure you like bake them in the oven or something like that, so it's not like a hard garlic clove. It's gonna be like super strong. You wanna like moisten it up a little bit if you are gonna put a fresh garlic clove in there. And yeah, it'll taste really well. You probably can put like 2 or 3 of them in there. And actually, I'm gonna do 3 teaspoons of garlic powder because I really like garlic. Okay, now we are gonna take like a handful of basil, and I'm gonna put it right on top. Okay, now this is super full. You're going to blend her right up. Perfect, so just let it blend for 30 seconds. And now I'm gonna taste it and make sure it tastes, how? Oh yeah, okay. We're not gonna add anything else. I'm gonna turn the sauce up a little bit higher. So instead of low, I'm gonna put it like in the middle between medium and low. And I am going to actually start boiling our water for the lasagna. That is going to be next. And then look what I said, look how much excess water is on top of the zucchini. So yeah, if you skip this step, all of that is just gonna come out in your lasagna. So now we're gonna take a paper towel and just damp it. And I wouldn't worry about the salt so much, like on the lasagna, on the zucchini. It's not gonna make your lasagna super salty. If anything, it's gonna taste really good. So don't worry about the excess salt that's on the zucchini. Because remember, we're not salting the pasta or even the sauce. The only salt is on the zucchini and in the ricotta. So the excess salt on the zucchini is actually a good thing. All right, so we just dab the excess water off of the zucchini. We might see a little bit more excess water come through as we're boiling the water. So we'll stay mindful of that. And as well, when I was showing the ingredients, I forgot to add that you don't have to add the almond parm. However, I think my almond parm that I always have that stays in the fridge, if you watch my last video, you will learn how to make this almond parm. I believe it's in my easy, light, healthy, vegan mac and cheese video, and I show you guys how to make my super healthy almond parm. So if you want to go check out that video and find out how to make the almond parm, it is in that video, and I will also link the description below so you can easily find it. But this is a nice addition to add to the lasagna. You don't have to. The lasagna will be great with or without it. I think it just adds like that consistency of like a Parmesan cheese that you're looking for. So I definitely think it just adds a nice touch to the lasagna for sure. And as I was talking so highly about the dollar store, you're never gonna believe this. There's a nice little dent in there. So you know what? It's a good thing that they gave us 2. It's still $1. But I am going to put this in 2 baking trays. So thank you, dollar store. Yeah, so basically all we need to do is just let the water boil so we can start cooking the pasta. Pasta is a little bit tricky to cook, like I said, because honestly, like if you're not constantly hovering it and watching it, the pasta will stick together and that can get super frustrating. Also, a little tip, make sure the pasta is fully cooked before you start layering, because one time I made the mistake of not fully cooking the pasta. It was more like al dente because I wanted to kind of see how the consistency would be once I baked it, and it was super hard. I didn't like it at all. So make sure the pasta is fully cooked before you start layering it. Take it from me. All right, my friends, our water is boiling. I'm gonna turn the sauce back down to low because we are starting to get some bubbles, so that's good. So that means the sauce is nice and hot. So our water is boiling, and I'm not sure if we're gonna use both containers of lasagna, but I like to have enough just in case. So let's go. I am only putting about half the container of lasagna in because, like I said, I don't want to put the whole thing in because it will stick. Perfect. Now my tongs ready to take them out. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna make our first layer. So our first things first, we're gonna put some sauce at the bottom. So we have our first layer right here. We have our pasta that is boiling, and then, like I said, you're gonna find a little bit of excess water that's gonna continue to come out, so I'm gonna dap that off, and then we're gonna start layering. So we're gonna start layering our pasta right now. Now I have a few more pieces that I'm going to take out because if I don't take them out now, they are totally gonna get super soggy. I'm gonna put the rest of this container in. So now we just finished a whole box of lasagna. I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm gonna layer down the ricotta. Now we're gonna do a little bit more red sauce. And now we're gonna add our zucchini. Another little thin layer of red sauce. And then go ahead and feel free to put a little bit of almond parm in the middle. But like I said, you can skip this step. I'm gonna add those 2 layers of pasta that we had from the last round. So right now this is a whole box of lasagna, and I'm gonna decide if I wanna add more in a minute. We're gonna add our ricotta. Again, another layer of almond parm. I'm gonna add the rest of the sauce on top. Take the ricotta one last time. A little bit of almond parmesan. And voila. Okay. So this is our final product. Now, I'm not gonna bake it in the oven today because I'm taking this with me for this weekend. So I'm not gonna put it in the oven just yet. I'm gonna wait, but I wanna say at about 400 degrees, bake this for about 30 minutes. You can even 375, like 45 minutes. Either one, you're doing really great. So I'd say definitely cook it on one of those. So yes, I'm really excited. Honestly, we just completed the vegan lasagna, and what, it's 2:58. So I started recording, I wanna say around 1. So it took me 2 hours to prep, 2 hours to film and get all of this out for you guys. So really, it didn't take long at all. And you know, even if this isn't for, you don't have to just save the lasagna for a special occasion. This is something that really you can prep and leave in the fridge all the time. But this is just one of my classics, and this is one of the first recipes that I made, and it's super special to me. And I just love making it every holiday. Everyone loves it. I'm super excited for everyone to try it, especially this weekend. So yeah, so we'll see. I might take you guys along with me this weekend. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for tuning in with me, and welcome to my kitchen. This is where I will be recording some new content for you guys from now on, and I'm super excited. So welcome to the fam, the vegan fam. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, take a bunch of pictures, send me everything. I love when you guys share how much that you love recreating. Really, this, like, it's like artwork to me. This is how I feel, because you just create something that's so tasty and so good, and you just can't feel guilty about it, because all of the ingredients, everything is plant-based in here. There is not one bad ingredient in here, not one. We even made the ricotta from scratch. So enjoy. I'm gonna end this video right here. I'm talking so much. I'm just so excited to get this out to you guys, and we will see you soon. Bye, ciao for now.